GTA 6 is too big, has too many people working on it for it to not have some woke stuff in it somewhere. I don't think the game is going to inherently be woke, but I think there's definitely going to have some stuff seep in from the bottom of the barrel. And who knows what it's going to be like. That's why I'm going to hold off whenever it comes out. I'm going to wait to get it until we find out exactly what this game is about, exactly what's in this game. And I don't actually think the campaign matters. I don't think the story really matters. People aren't going to play the story. Nobody was playing GTA 5 for the story. When it first came out, people were. But as time went on, everybody forgot about the actual story being a part of GTA. And GTA Online was the new GTA.
There is a new trailer for GTA 6. And it's the second one they've released thus far.
Yep, I reacted to it. You should check it out.
From the first reactions, it's a lot of cutscenes and not a lot of gameplay being shown, which people are frustrated by.
Apparently, a lot of it is more gameplay than we thought, which I don't know if they know the difference between cutscenes during the game and gameplay. Because if you're not actually playing and it's like you stop holding the controller, like you stop pressing the buttons and the camera's moving around and people are talking, that's a fucking cutscene.
But what is revealed in this trailer is something a lot of fans already suspected from this game, which is that they have gone woke with the inclusion of pride parades in the game.
Are you serious? Are you fucking serious, man? Can we not with this? I think, like, pride parades are not going to be a thing in the future. We've got maybe a year, if we even have a year left of these things happening before we move on to the next set of movements that humanity likes to latch on to, like every 6 years or so.
And I think you can probably guess as well that those pride parades involve unkillable NPCs.
Of course they would. Of course. You go in there and it makes you just put your gun down, you know? And you actually just, like, can't aim at anybody. Probably gonna be the only area in the entire game where that happens.
You're not allowed to just mow them down or do the things that you normally do in GTA.
Of course not.
And be a menace because they're a protected class in the game and in real life, of course. So, like, I don't really care enough to react to the trailer itself.
It looks really, really good. It doesn't really sound great when it comes to the story. And I don't know what parts are supposed to be gameplay. I don't think any of it is. I think it's actually all just fucking cutscenes. But if this game has a whole bunch, I mean, like, I can understand if you got like a pride parade and you can interrupt it, or maybe there's like a story sequence where it happens. I can understand that because that is a thing that happens in real life. But if they don't make it ridiculous and stupid, then it's pandering. It has to be just as ridiculous as stupid as everything else in the game, or it's just pandering.
I want to go through some of the posts about it, especially this meme. The
Song will get us copyrighted.
Yeah, it'll get us in trouble. You see the potential, you know, the creative potential in all of this. So this is confirmed. It was actually in line with a leak that came out last year from Reddit. I took part in a playtest yesterday. Holy shit, it's so woke. There are rainbow flags and rainbow crosswalks in the city. You can find small pride parades, and those NPCs are literally unkillable.
I wouldn't mind if you had all of that stuff, if you made everybody ridiculous and stupid and made them killable. Sure, have all the pride stuff in there. But it's gotta be a parody like everything else.
I didn't want to raise any eyebrows, but I tried it, and you can't kill them. They just run away and disappear. They also have these new procedural missions, and one of them, I shit you not, is called Prevent Deportation. So your job is to basically escort an NPC to its destination, and every now and then you have to repel waves of ICE agents.
I mean, that's kind of lame, because then you're just a coyote without any profit.
I mean, I guess it is still, like, going in the same theme of, like, being a criminal.
Yeah,
I think activists took over GTA. Are they actually going to do that whole ICE thing? It's like everything that normal people like are not going to be in GTA if they do stuff like this. If this is going to be what the game's about. Anti-immigration as in anti-ICE, anti-immigration police, whatever, when normal people don't like illegal immigration. We like the ICE agents. It's a little bit. They're just doing it all wrong. Everything wrong. This is agenda driven.
You're trafficking people in the game.
But that's not any fun. Like, you should be able to make money doing this. If you're going to be a criminal, my goodness,
Right.
be a criminal.
Right. Extort them for money in the process.
I mean, that's
Remember in the old GTA games, you were a criminal doing bad things to get ahead, to become rich and powerful. They're going to try and make criminals the heroes in this one. They're going to be doing the criminality stuff for good reasons. I guarantee it.
well, that's what happens in the real world.
I don't know if that makes the ICE agents bad guys in the game. Like, you're still the villain.
Yeah, technically,
But-
You know? No, you're not. We don't know that yet. You might be having to do illegal things for good reasons, or what they deem to be good reasons.
by framing, they're not technically the bad guys, but
That's a weird
we understand
thing to
that
include.
they are.
That is
They
a
are.
weird aspect to include in the game, especially with the political climate right now.
Captain K in the chat says human trafficking. Nice.
Yeah, that's literally what it is.
what it is.
I don't know for sure that they included that, but the Pride Parade is confirmed in the game and not just a mod. There was a mod in GTA 5 for Pride Parades, but this is actually supposed to be, people are saying, part of the game itself.
If it's a campaign mission where you're walking through doing something and there's a pride parade going on and you can't interact with the NPCs, I can see that. But if there's just like a random one in the streets happening and you can't interrupt it, that's bullshit.
And the gays are happy already.
Yeah.
First off, because they're thirsting over one of the protagonists, not the playable female protagonist they added, but the second protagonist, Jason Duval. And they're all incredibly horny over him.
And they really, really, really want him to be gay. They're really trying hard to get Rockstar to just make him gay.
They're saying, I can fix him. I
See,
can save him.
Here's my problem with this is that when guys talk about like the character design of female characters, they get called misogynistic and they talk about the male gaze.
Right.
Not
But that's
the male
what's happening to the
gaze, but
male-
the male gaze with a Z, and you're told that you're a bad person for wanting female characters to look conventionally attractive.
But this
Why
one,
is this
he's
such a
getting
double
object-
Because if it's normal, it's bad. If it's not normal, it's good.
standard?
objectified. He's being objectified right now by the gays on Twitter.
Not just- I
they
mean,
want to know
there's-
if you're able to make the character kiss guys. They say Jason Duval confirmed as spankable. Okay.
See, if a guy was supposed to
Um,
say that about a female character, he'd go to jail, internet jail.
Instantly fell in love with the Jason guy. Rockstar is giving the gays what we want. And Pink News also released an article recently after the trailer came out saying that it sparked a renewed wave of excitement for the latest installment. But
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. I don't know what the fuck these people are talking about. They're seeing people talk about it on Twitter and on threads, and they're like, oh, people are so excited. Most of these people talking about it probably aren't even going to play it.
will Grand Theft Auto's LGBTQ plus fans finally get the inclusion they deserve?
Great. We're including people now for the modern audience. I'm more and more out on this game. The more we talk about it, the closer we get to the release date.
After I didn't even know about this, Rockstar has a
Gay code,
history of, I guess, a bad record of inclusion for queer fans. I
Yeah.
don't know what that means.
Well, the
really.
Ballad of Gay Tony was perfect. Go back to that style.
problem with any of this is that when you talk about marginalized groups in movies and television, they want it to be on their terms. They don't want to be at the whims of what they would call cis people and their definition of what their characters should be. So it's like they talk about harmful, offensive stereotypes. And
GTA is supposed to be harmful, offensive stereotypes. What is going on here? Am I in crazy land? Am I in backwards world? This is clown world. The fuck is happening? Activists took over one of the greatest games of all time.
I was like, well, you know, if I got offended every time like an old white guy played an evil billionaire, I would do nothing but be mad all the time. But stereotypes exist for a reason in entertainment, usually as some type of visual through line to connect you to the story in some way.
In this case, it's supposed to be parody. It's supposed to be ridiculous and offensive. That's what GTA has always been. They've been taken over by the corporations that tried to get them canceled in the first place and changed to more fit what they want this game to be, rather than the offensive, violence-fueled, criminal rage fest that has always been GTA. Money ruins everything, man. When you get to a level of money that's like absurd, then it just gets ruined.
And it's a simplistic form of storytelling. Doesn't necessarily make it bad, but like I said, you know, most
what did GTA
people.
ever do to the gays?
Well, I guess they're talking about the Ballad of.
It's only the fact that there aren't gay protagonists doing gay stuff in the game. Like, I don't really understand.
Oh, they also mentioned the Psycho, the NPC character that's transgender.
Oh, what year was that?
2009, or back then.
So GTA 5 was 20.
I'm sorry, 2002.
GTA 5 was 2011, right?
Or
was
Vice
it 2012?
City. It was 2011.
Okay, yeah. Grand Theft Auto's historic lack of inclusivity for the LGBTQ community has long been a source of controversy, with past games marred by serious and offensive missteps, which Rockstar will need to work hard to make up for with GTA 6.
But everybody in the GTA games are stupid and ridiculous. Every single person. Not their protected class. They're the only ones that aren't going to be stupid and ridiculous. Which makes me think that they're the ones who are stupid and ridiculous. The people that you are protecting are stupid and ridiculous. And you're doing this for stupid and ridiculous reasons.
If they hope to regain the trust of the LGBTQ community.
What trust is that? What does that mean? What does that mean?
That means them
I guess
not making threats.
I guess, is that the same type of thing they're saying, like Marvel should care about straight white male representation if they want to regain the trust of the non-gay community?
Nobody
like,
ever said that, though. I think that this is why all of those video game consultant firms,
Sweet Baby Inc.,
you know, cropped up into existence so that they could handhold these companies along the way in making their games more inclusive to the standards that they have come up with. And if you don't comply, as we learned from the tactics of people at Sweet Baby Inc., they will threaten to destroy you.
It's the same people that used to threaten to destroy Rockstar because they wouldn't comply, because it was too offensive and too violent and ridiculous. These are the same people that have taken it over now. They slowly just worked their way in and worked their way to the top. Hired in their friends, deemed people problematic. This is why all the top people at Rockstar left. It is not the same company. And I feel this GTA might be the most successful game of all time. But the next one can't be like this. Because people won't take it. You've already got people like me who have loved Rockstar and GTA games and all the games that they've produced in the past and developed in the past. I love these games. I don't like them now. Red Dead Online, that's where it started for me. That's where it started falling off. I already was kind of off on GTA Online, but when they destroyed Red Dead Online and just forgot about it for a while, for a long time, too long, I was like, well, this is not the same game company. This has been taken over by weirdos who don't know what they're doing, who have an agenda to make as much money as possible and also push their weird political ideology.
Like, that's what's happening.
That's not gonna work anymore.
No, that era is over.
That era's gone.
And it's also, it's come and gone
companies
since GTA 5.
Companies that bend the knee to this now do so solely because they either don't understand the internet or they have such a narrow field of vision that we've talked about.
They're on the internet, but they're in their own spaces and they block everybody who disagrees with them. They're not in spaces with real people. They're in spaces full of people that are like them. They're in a cult.
About this before. Like, the idea is that you've got some Gen X, maybe even millennial social media manager who doesn't understand just how many people are on the internet. And back in the day, it would have been boomers and Gen Xers, I suppose. And it's like you get 15 mean comments sent to your company's X account, or I guess Twitter back then, and you upend everything because some people complain to you, which is a very different thing when you think about, like, if you're a company and you're selling thousands upon thousands of something to thousands upon thousands of customers, 15 negative messages might feel like a lot in the moment because it's like one person reading through them all, and then they panic thinking that everybody's out to get them. But even if you got hundreds of negative comments, hundreds of negative messages about something, if you look at your actual profit margins and the amount of each item you sell to an individual customer, it's really not that much in the grand scheme of things. But that's very, very hard for people to delineate when it's...
Yeah, people who give a fuck will become loud about it. People who don't give a fuck won't do anything and will just not buy it next time.
Like one person running social media who then passes this along to an executive who doesn't really understand how the internet works.
Yeah, if anything was going to teach them that that's not how the internet works, it would be the Hogwarts Legacy success.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, super controversial release, tons of social media outrage, and none of it meant anything because...
I wouldn't care. I don't care about all the pride stuff, all the gay stuff, all the trans stuff. If it's put in the game and treated like everything else, like everyone else, I won't have a problem with it. These fucking woke weirdos, they just want to destroy everything that's good and then blame us for it. Blame us for the thing dying that really they destroyed.
It sold insane numbers.
Well, okay, then let me just stay on that train of thought for a second, though. Okay, then...
If this stuff persists and it's like all throughout GTA, you're going to have record number sales, but you're also going to have record number refunds. You're going to have record number drop-offs of people just not playing it because they don't want gay stuff in their face constantly. Even gay people.
How do you, if you're that person in charge, how do you, and say you're not part of any individual community, whether you're, let's take Hogwarts Legacy and now Hogwarts, or Harry Potter, the television series, right?
I think the problem is there's nobody in charge. I think the problem is the cult mind virus is in charge. There might be a guy at the top, but what are you going to do when you got 30 woke weirdos trying to cancel you and trying to remove you from the top? You have to listen to them so you can keep your job. So you can keep that $30 million a year or whatever you make, plus bonus.
Right. So how do you understand and differentiate the controversy that will hurt you versus the controversy that won't? Because people were complaining about Hogwarts Legacy, and everyone was thinking that it was going to hurt their numbers and ended up actually making them more money. But now the other side of the aisle is complaining about the Harry Potter TV series because of the Snape casting. How do you differentiate which one will hurt you versus which one will help you?
I got an idea. Learn how to write good. Write well. Learn how to fucking write. Learn how to just go back to the 90s mindset, the 80s mindset, and write something that would have come out in the 80s or 90s. Boom! Successful now.
If I was to give you like a really simple idea, it's that the ones who complain about stuff like Hogwarts Legacy don't have any money and don't buy stuff anyways, whereas normal people have money and will buy stuff.
I don't think it's purely that. The difference to me is quite obvious. One is that people were mad about J.K. Rowling being involved in Hogwarts Legacy. And on the other hand, what people are mad about in regard to the show is something that's actually in the show.
Yeah.
No one was mad at the content of the video game. They were mad at the author of the story that inspired it.
Whereas the show now
actually has a problem in the show.
Yeah.
So, and that could definitely get worse over time as we continue getting casting announcements. But yeah, it's been 13 years since the last GTA was released, in an entirely different cultural landscape. And there are people who were kids when it came out who are...
I think they finished up this game probably about 3-4 years ago, and they've just been spending this time refining it. So it's got all these old tropes from COVID, I guess, probably around COVID times, and all of the Black Lives Matter stuff and all of that, you know.
Now full-grown adults, and they don't need to play by the same rules. I don't really understand why they felt compelled to include all of this.
Because they included it 3-4 years ago and just haven't taken it out. I could see them updating it and taking it all out because way too many people are mad, and it's the people who actually buy the games, and they're not gonna buy it. I could see them turning everything around and removing stuff.
Woke stuff. Like, I don't like calling things woke,
I mean,
but this is woke. Like, I don't know what else to call this. This is what we're referring to when we use the word woke.
this
it's appropriate.
this game did not get started after the, you know, quote unquote vibe shift. I mean, it's been in production for years upon years, so it was produced through the worst period of time for entertainment.
Yeah, that's the problem with these games and movies that take 5 years, 10 years, 13 years to make. The culture changes, especially with this internet culture that we got going, where things just change so fast. The movement one year is going to be different than the movement the next year. We don't got that Black Lives Matter stuff going on no more. Not really. We're coming out of the Pride events. Everybody's canceling all their Pride stuff and all of their gay stuff, all the LGBT stuff. All these corporations. It's too late for them. They can't remove it. It's already too ingrained in this game. They let the woke people in. They let the weirdo activists in. And now they can't get rid of them.
You know, back in 2017, 2018, stuff like
It's been
that.
a tumultuous last
We got that
10 to 15 years.
We
that's
got
for
that
sure.
Kanye music video before
We got
we got GTA 6.
HH by Kanye West
Yeah.
before we got GTA
Yeah.
6.
Yeah, really. That whole Kanye situation, that's crazy. We got a lot of things before we got GTA 6. And I think this one might be the final nail in the coffin for all of this, like, weird pandering culture. If this game comes out and it's super woke and people hate it and it just gets absolutely mobbed and destroyed and fails harder than GTA 5, if it doesn't do as good as GTA 5, it is a failure. Even if it's technically successful and makes money, if it doesn't do as good as GTA 5, it is a failure. And if it doesn't do as good as GTA 5 and is deemed a failure, I think that's the last for this woke stuff. That's the last of it. Hopefully. Like, look at all these woke games that have just been destroyed. That's been coming out the past few years. Dragon Age Veilguard, South of Midnight, even though I kind of like that game. Concord, everybody talks about Concord. Buy a t-shirt down there in the description. I'm out.